Good morning. A major application of the Malacha of Tofer comes up when diapering one's child. In the way diapers are manufactured today, they often have adhesive tabs in order to open and close and be able to change the diaper. There are a couple of reasons discussed in the poskim why this may or may not be okay. After all, it seems to be Tofer. We are attaching, and as we mentioned, pretty much any form of attaching to parts of an item would be the melacha of Tofer. However, we already mentioned one heter, one reason to be lenient, which is that this would be a temporary attachment. Diapers are meant to only last a couple of hours, and since these are made to be temporary, and at the time of fastening these tabs, everyone knows it's going to be only a temporary attachment. That is the reason Rav Moshe Feinstein and others were matir and were lenient to allow one to open and close the tabs on one's diaper. There's another reason given, which is what's called derech tashmisho. This comes up frequently in halachos of Shabbos, that something is not considered to be a malacha if that is its normal way of using that item. So, for example, opening and closing one's door to their house is not a problem of bona, even though one is completing the structure, because that is derech tashmisho. That is the way that item is meant to be used. The door is meant to be open and closed. Similarly, the poskim cite that reasoning here as well for why one can change and open and close these tabs, because derech tashmisho, it's the normal way of changing the diapers. The manufacturers know that these are meant to be open and closed frequently, every so often, to be able to either check or change a diaper. And since that is its typical mode of use, that by definition would not be a malacha and could be open and closed in this fashion. There is a nafkamina, a difference, whether we assume the reason it is permitted is because it's temporary or because of this concept of derech tashmisha, which is the question of sealing an already soiled diaper prior to disposal. Is one allowed to close those tabs? Right? Oftentimes we do that to prevent the odor from being emitted. So is that permissible? If we assume that it's only because it's temporary in nature, then that time fastening it is no longer temporary. Perhaps that's considered permanent and would be a problem. And therefore, some, including Rav Belsky and others, actually said that upon changing the diaper, prior to disposing of the dirty diaper, one should not actually seal with the tabs. They can put it in a bag and close it off so that the odor doesn't spread, but do that and then throw it out rather than sealing the tabs, because that would turn it into a permanent attachment, which would be problematic. However, if we assume that it's because of derech tashmisha, that this is the normal way of using it, then so too it's the normal way. There's no problem altogether of opening and closing these tabs, even upon disposal, if the tabs will remain. Additionally, Rav Shlomo Zalman suggested it's not even an afkamina. This is true according to both reasons. Even if we assume that it's because it's temporary in nature, this too is considered temporary in nature, because the fact that we are discarding it, yes, we're attaching it, and the tabs themselves will not become undone. But since we are just attaching it to be discarded and destroyed, one doesn't actually care about the connection. That is still considered temporary in nature and therefore would be permitted. So certainly one has plenty to rely on to close it even upon disposing of a soiled diaper, though there are those who would like to be strict and say, rather than closing it upon disposal, to put it in a bag, wrap the bag up, and throw it out in that way. Either way seems to have plenty to rely on. Have a great day.